Welcome to training session number 8. Today we will put the finishing touches on our discipling plans. Discipling is the process of showing the people of God how to participate in the mission of God as a daily lifestyle. And together we've been crafting a plan we can use to intentionally and consistently do that with family and friends.
Yeah, so far, the discipling template in chapter 16 has helped us clarify who we are discipling and why we are discipling them. It's also helped us to outline how we will disciple them using Jesus' process of proclamation, imitation, and replication. We're going to now today drill down into each of those 3 separate parts so that we can finish crafting our discipling plan.
So let's get started. The template prompts us with this question: how will I help the person I am discipling engage Jesus' discipling process of proclamation, imitation, and replication?
So let's first drill down on proclamation. In the Gospels, Jesus begins training his followers by engaging them with his words and teaching. He says, "The words I have spoken to you are spirit and they are life."
So how can you facilitate this same kind of training with the person you are discipling?
In the discipling template, we suggest 3 ways.
First, have the person take time every day to open their Bible and follow Jesus around in one of the Gospels. Have them take note of what Jesus is giving them to believe or do. If you're discipling your child, you can facilitate the same thing by reading Bible stories together and asking them to talk with you about what Jesus is teaching them.
Then, encourage whoever you are discipling to answer this question. As a result of what I've read today, what is one thing Jesus is giving me to believe or do for the good of others? Answering that question will help them prepare to pivot from proclamation of Jesus' words to imitation of Jesus' lifestyle.
The second way you can facilitate proclamation is to have them attend a Christ-centered congregation where they can listen for Jesus through its preaching and teaching ministries.
And last but not least, they're experiencing proclamation by being a part of your missional community, where they can listen for Jesus through the stories and insights being shared.
The next part of Jesus' discipling process is imitation.
In the Gospels, Jesus facilitates pivoting from proclamation to imitation by inviting the disciples to join him on his mission and begin imitating his lifestyle practices for the good of others.
We also see Jesus regularly taking his disciples out of the hustle and bustle of their everyday lives so they can process everything in quieter settings. Now, how can you facilitate this same kind of training with the person you are discipling?
In the discipling template, we suggest 2 ways. First, have them look for opportunities in their daily lives to join Jesus on his mission and imitate his lifestyle practices for the good of others. The 5 mission practices and the 5 lifestyle practices of Jesus are intended to help them remember how to do that.
And the other way to facilitate imitation is through your missional community. That's where you can have those unhurried conversations about how life on mission with Jesus is going. By hearing and telling your stories, you're helping each other see how you can imitate Jesus in everyday life.
Okay, last but definitely not least is the 3rd part of Jesus' discipling process: replication.
In the Gospels, Jesus' training process isn't complete until the people he is discipling are discipling others. In fact, Jesus sends the disciples out to experience replication soon after they begin their training.
Did you catch that? Soon after. Not eventually, not after they become experts, but soon after they begin their training, Jesus sends them out to begin replicating the training they've been receiving. And Jesus does that because replication accelerates their training and leads to many others also being trained.
So, how can you facilitate this same kind of training with the person you are discipling? In the discipling template, we suggest 2 ways. First, towards the end of your missional community time, have your family or friends respond to this question: what small part of my experience today can I replicate with my family or friends in the coming week?
By processing this question together and then going and replicating their experience with other family or friends, you can help them steadily gain experience in how to disciple others by taking small but intentional steps each week.
A second way to facilitate replication is to give each person a regular turn at leading your missional community. You can initiate this as soon as people become comfortable with the rhythms of the gathering. Eventually, as they gain experience and confidence, you can help them begin a new missional community of their own.
Of course, not every person can or should lead new missional communities, but it's a huge win for the kingdom when one missional community becomes two, and two become four. Remember, the goal of Jesus is the multiplication of mission training to the ends of the earth so that the nations are participating in the mission of God. And the simplest way to train people for that is proclamation, imitation, and replication.
So that does it for today. You now have a plan that lays out who you will disciple, why you will disciple them, and how you will disciple them. Next time, in session number 9, we'll take a look at a suggested agenda. It pulls the plan, the process, and the practices together for your missional community. See you then.